Samson lived alone on a small farm at the edge of the village. He wasn't rich, and he didn't own much, but he had something he deeply cared about: his rabbits. They were fluffy, soft, and gentle, white, brown, and spotted. He raised them like children. They were his comfort, his joy, and his way of making a little money selling them for meat or as pets. Every morning, Samson woke early, fed the rabbits fresh vegetables, cleaned their pens, and spoke to them like they could understand every word. And maybe they did. When he walked into the pen, they would hop toward him as if to say, "Good morning, Samson." But then, one night, something changed. It started with a rustling in the grass. A slow, heavy sound. The sound of something that didn't belong there. Something dangerous. But Samson didn't know. Not yet. He thought it was the wind. The first rabbit went missing without a trace. Samson searched everywhere, under rocks, in the nearby bushes, even along the forest path near the back of his farm, but nothing. No fur. No blood. Just gone. He told himself maybe the rabbit had escaped. Maybe it had squeezed through a loose board. Maybe it would come back. But then the next rabbit disappeared. Then a third. By the fourth, Samson didn't believe in maybe anymore. Something was wrong. Something big. Something hungry. That night, Samson sat in the dark, holding a flashlight and a long stick. The wind blew through the dried leaves. The moon was a thin white slice in the sky. He listened. He waited. At first, nothing. Then he heard it. A slide. A soft, slow slide. He turned his flashlight toward the rabbit pen, and froze. There, wrapped around the wire fence, was a python. Thick. Dark. Silent. Its scales shimmered in the light like water in a well. Its head was raised, tongue flicking in the air. And in its body, Samson could see the shape of something round and lumpy. Something the size of a rabbit. The python had been eating his rabbits. His heart jumped into his throat. He felt anger rising, hot and sharp. But he also felt fear. Pythons were strong. They could crush a goat. They could kill a man. But this was his farm. His rabbits. His home. The next morning, Samson walked into the village and told the elders what he had seen. They nodded, serious and calm. "That snake weighs maybe 50 kilos, one of them said. "It doesn't kill fast. It waits. It comes back," another added. Samson left the meeting with a plan. He went to the market and bought a shovel, a machete with a wooden handle, and a sack of dried pepper powder. If the python came again, he would be ready. That night, he didn't sleep. He sat in a chair next to the rabbit pen, the machete by his side, a lantern burning low. Time moved slow. He watched the stars turn. The crickets sang. The night grew cold. Then, just past midnight, he heard it again, the slow, steady slide of something heavy across the leaves. He gripped his machete. The python came from the tall grass, gliding like water, coiling like smoke. Its body was long. Thick. Silent. It went straight toward the rabbit pen. Straight toward Samson's last rabbit, the smallest, the one he'd named Cloud because it was so white. Samson waited. He held his breath. The python pushed its head through the wire, searching for movement, for warmth, for life. In that moment, Samson stood and moved. He swung the machete down with all the strength in his body. The blade hit the python's neck, not deep enough to kill, but enough to make it thrash. Its body slapped the ground, coiling and twisting with furious power. Samson jumped back, his heart racing. The python turned toward him, its black eyes shining, its mouth opening wide, showing curved teeth and a deep, dark throat. He could feel its hunger. Its anger. But he didn't stop. He raised the machete again, and this time, he aimed for the head. 1 strike. 2. 3. The python's body kept moving for a moment, even after the head was no longer attached. Then finally, it stopped. The grass was still. The night was quiet. Samson stood there, breathing hard, his shirt stuck to his skin with sweat. His knees felt weak. He had killed the python. The next day, the villagers came to see. They had heard the story already. Samson, the quiet man alone on the farm, had killed the giant python that had been swallowing his rabbits. They stood around the dead snake. Some were proud. Some were shocked. Some were afraid. "You saved the village," a woman said. "That snake might have attacked a child next." Samson didn't smile. He didn't speak. He just nodded and walked back to the rabbit pen. Cloud was still there, small, shaking, silent. Samson opened the pen and picked it up, holding it against his chest. He gently stroked its back. "You're safe now," he whispered. But even then, he knew it wasn't just about the rabbits anymore. It was about courage. About protecting what you love, even when the danger seems too big. From that day, people called Samson the Python Slayer. Some brought him gifts. Some just came to shake his hand. But Samson didn't care about fame. He cared about the rabbits. Every morning, he still woke early and fed them vegetables, cleaned their pen, and spoke to them like they could hear every word. But now, when he looked out into the tall grass, he also remembered the quiet slide of danger, and the night he stood up and faced it. He survived because he fought back. Because he refused to give up on something that mattered. And that was the day Samson stopped being just a man with rabbits. He became a man with a story. A man with courage. A man who faced the python, and won.
Please like and subscribe for more videos. Also comment where you're watching from.